First of all, we shall touch upon the most important factor that is known as the dynamic factor in the personality facet of a human being. There are three of them. The first and foremost I would like to tackle is determination, has other two aspects. The other two are the stamina and courage. Children, these are personality traits which are applicable to your mind. It's mental, it's not physical alone. To quote from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, if you can show that slide, IT. Not to worry. Vivasa Yatmukha Buddhirekha Kurunandana Bahushakha Hainantaksha Buddhayo Yavasayana. This is the 41st shloka in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. It categorically says, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, in this yoga, in this action of disinterested action, the intellect is determined and directed singly towards new ideal, whereas the intellect of the undecided, that is ignorant men moved by desires, wanders in all directions after innumerable aims. कहने का मतलब बहुत सिंपल है. If you are determined to do the thing single-mindedly, with sustained effort to achieve, despite obstacles, with fixedness of purpose, mental concentration, and strength of will, then alone we can achieve what we really want. I would like to start this small little story of two partridges. These two partridges were walking along the seashore, and they were husband and wife. The partridge laid eggs, and the eggs were on the shore of the sea. The partridges mentioned to the sea, we are going on a small little voyage inside the water. You take care of our eggs, and when we return, you should return them. The partridges left for their voyage. When they came back, they could not find the eggs. They were very unhappy. What they did, they were so angry and told the ocean, sea, that we will empty with their small little beaks. They started. I'll come to this. Let this slide remain. I'll come back to this. Let this remain. The partridges were very, very angry, and they told the sea that we will pick up whatever with our own beaks, whatever little water possible, and will come to the shore and throw it out. We'll keep doing till you get empty. After seeing this, the bird Garuda appeared and asked the partridges, "Oh, partridges, what are you doing? Even if you spend the whole lifetime of yours, आप लोग समुद्र को खाली नहीं कर सकते. You can't empty this vast ocean. It is infinite, unending." To the Garuda, the partridges replied, "Oh Garuda, and we will not do this alone. Our own fraternity of other birds also would join." The relatives of partridges joined. After seeing the partridges doing this holy job, because The sea did not keep its promise. As a punishment, they are taking the water out and throwing it out on the land. So all the other birds also started joining. What happened? The Garuda went to Lord Vishnu and represented to him as to what happened. Lord Vishnu told, yes, they are doing the correct thing. In case somebody has not kept his promise, with determination, the partridges are wanting to take out the water and empty. And he directed the ocean to return the eggs given as for safekeeping by the partridges. What is the moral of the story? It's very simple. One has to be very determined till the achievement of the goal. The goal is achieved. And you can show that first slide, madam, that the flying birds. Yes, thank you. Children, you are seeing these bar-tailed godwits. There is something very, very interesting about these birds. These godwit birds migrate from the Arctic region. They stay somewhere near Alaska. It is the northwest extremity of United States of America. They go and breed themselves, rest, recoup, and refresh in the Arctic region during winter, and they fly for almost 7,500 miles non-stop over Pacific Ocean for almost 9 days without water, without sleeping, and without food. And they reach their destination in New Zealand. This was monitored sometime in the month of September 2020 by a satellite tagging. If birds of this kind, ये छोटे पक्षी ये काम कर सकते हैं तो हम लोग क्यों नहीं? If somebody is determined, we can achieve, definitely achieve what we really want. So, a person who wants to achieve has to have determination with mental stamina. The physical stamina follows. And the next most important factor is courage. Indian Army is known for courage, and you can show the photographs of 10 Army heroes, which is in the slide. Till the slides come up, and we know we have men of steel in the Indian Army who have earned names for themselves and who have made the country proud in any war of operation. IT, if you are listening, kindly put the slide of the Army heroes, 10 of them, in case that comes up, until that comes up. हम लोग सब जानते हैं कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा के बारे में, ये आप ही के स्टेट के हैं, पालमपुर से हैं. He is from a very normal family, born to Shri Girdhari Lal Batra Sahib, who was principal of a government college, and his mother also was a teacher. The way he fought the Pakistanis and the way he dedicated himself with raw courage is known to everybody. Vikram Batra not only conquered point 5140 and 4875 on 7 July 1999. His last words were Jai Mata Di. Before he attained martyrdom, he went on to help a comrade facing the bullets. Before his end came, he showed the steel in him. Other people whom I would like to quote, I'll start with Subhadar Joginder Yadav of 18 Grenadiers. Children, this JCO, Joint Commissioned Officer, was only 19 years old. Yes, if you are showing iron card, so I can, yeah, you go back, go back, go back, go back. The photograph which was showed, this is, retain this. This is Brigadier Usman Mahavir Chakr, who sacrificed himself defending during 1947-48 when the Pakistanis came in large number, disguising themselves as the raiders, Razakas. You know what is so special about this gentleman? He was the first one to be given a gallantry award. He was offered the post of Chief of the Army Staff of Pakistan after our partition, but he did not leave India. He continued to be there as a brigadier with Indian Army till he breathed his last in defending Jammu. Next person I would like to quote is Major General Ayan Cardoso of 5 Gorkha Rifles. Children, this officer is living. In fact, I had the good fortune of serving with his son when I was posted to Allahabad, a services selection board, in the same battalion. Yeah, he's the one. See, what is so special about him is during 1971 operation, when his battalion was marching, he was blown up when he entered a minefield and his feet was very badly injured. He told his RMO is the medical officer of the battalion, to cut his leg. He won't. He told, sir, हम लोग आपको सही जगह ले जाएंगे, उसके बाद ट्रीटमेंट करेंगे. He told, no, I will not leave my battalion till the fight is over. Then he took a kukri from his uniform, he took it out, and you know how the Gurkhas behave once they take the kukri out. He cut his own leg and gave it to the regimental medical officer, go and bury somewhere. And he rose on to the rank of Major General with one leg, with an artificial leg. He could serve the army and he rose to the rank of Major General. And he is a great inspiration to every one of us. What I am trying to tell is the dedication has to come from within. Your determination and courage have to come from within. Every one of us would be having all these qualities in some proportion. If it is highlighted in the acceptable proportion to the selecting authorities, yes, sure, we will all get selected. Whatever profession we are, whether it is in Army, Navy, Air Force, or anywhere. And next important facet I would like to cover is on our social effectiveness factor. Children, there is something known as initiative. Every one of us has got this. What is initiative after all? It is the ability to take first step in unfamiliar situation, take action in the right direction and sustain the initiative, whatever you have taken, till the goal is achieved. I would like to quote a small little story of two friends. ये दोनों दोस्त जंगल में लकड़ी काटने जाते थे. सुबह से लेके शाम तक they will cut the trees and call them Ramu and Krishna. Ramu was able to always achieve more results. He used to return around 5 o'clock in the evening with more cut wood, whereas Krishna was not able. You know what was the difference? Ramu used to go, start the work for an hour, and he will rest himself for 5 minutes. Whereas Krishna used to work since morning 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock. He will keep cutting the trees, and his output used to be less. You know why? Krishna was hardworking, fine, but Ramu was very, very intelligent. He used to take the initiative of sharpening his axe while resting. He also rested. After resting, he will be fresh and जाकर के काम करता था. उसका output Krishna says, this is initiative. So anyone who undertakes any job, goal, aim, whatever, has to sustain the initiative in the right direction. And I would like to show one small little clip. IT, you may show that self-confidence, that petrol pump wala clip. Show the clip. And children, इसको जरा गौर से देखिए. एक क्लिपिंग दिखाया जाएगा अभी. इसमें क्या होता है? दैट वीडियो, पेट्रोल पंप वाला वीडियो. इसको चलाएं. In case you are not able to see the video, please someone tell me so that I can go ahead. I think it's not coming up the way we wanted to show that. Not to worry. See, it is very simple. Self-confidence is a faith in one's own ability to meet stressful situations in unfamiliar conditions. Self-confidence सबका होता है. Say, I had sent one small little video clipping of a petrol pump. उसमें क्या होता है? पेट्रोल भरने के लिए 2-3 लोग जाते हैं. One person goes and stands near the person who happens to be a woman who is to give petrol. Suddenly, his vehicle catches fire due to this sanitary chemical. सभी भाग जाते हैं वहां से. They are not able to handle the situation, whereas the girl who is doing the job of putting petrol takes a fire extinguisher very comfortably and she extinguished the fire. Whereas ये मोटरसाइकिल लेकर के आस-पास में जो भी खड़े थे पेट्रोल भरने के लिए, वो सब के सब भाग गए वहां. This is self-confidence. That woman who was in that petrol pump has all the wherewithal of total confidence that she can handle the situation of extinguishing fire, and she did it. Right? And other qualities connected to the social effectiveness factors is the speed, ability to take your decisions, your speed of decision. You should be able to take decision appropriately, timely, with. And there's an important issue. you should never lose even opportunity. Opportunities will not present themselves in front of you every now and then. Whenever you get an opportunity, you should be able to make use of it. I would like to tell you a small story of Rishi Matangar. Rishi Matangar was a very well-known तपस्वी थे. ये चाहते थे कि अमर हो जाए. He did not want to die. He wanted to become immortal. He started his meditation towards Lord Krishna. For years, he did meditation. Pleased with his determined tapasya, Lord Krishna himself comes in front of him and asks him, Munivar, आपको क्या चाहिए? Rishi Matangar says, Ye Prabhu, I want to become immortal. I don't want to die. Lord Krishna says, Tatastu. He grants his boon. Right? What happens? Days pass, weeks pass, months also go by, and often he started thinking that Lord Krishna gave me a boon that he will make me immortal, and nothing has happened. One day he was walking all alone in the jungle under the scorching sun, very tired, thirsty, and he is walking along. And suddenly he saw a hunter. The hunter is having two birds oozing with blood. He's thinking, and he is having them on his shoulders, hanging them on his shoulders. And he also has got a small little container made of leather with something in there. He offered that to Rishi Matanga. Munivar, you seem to be very tired and thirsty. You drink. Seeing his condition, a stinking hunter and the blood oozing from his hands, he told, "Thank you, मुझे नहीं चाहिए करके कुछ चले जाते." You know what was there inside that small little container? It was Amrit. Rishi Matanga lost the chance of taking Amrit as because he did not identify the opportunity which came to him in the form of a hunter. The Lord, God Himself had displayed Himself as a hunter and presented Himself in front of him. So, when you get an opportunity, you should not lose it out and make use of it. Factor in the group of crucial effectiveness of qualities is your ability to influence a group. You must be having your friends. Some of them will be telling stories. Some of them will be very good in something. And there will be a crowd around them. And they will always make you happy. So, your quality, your ability to make the group influence or happy is an important factor. Every one of us has got that in himself or herself with liveliness, cheer. You should never keep worrying about or always complaining about the thing which you do not have. You should be able to be happy with the resources which God has provided you. And the next factor is very important. It is on social adjustment facet. Children, we all understand that the men in the Navy don't belong to one place. They may be from different regions, they may belong to different religions, and speaking different languages. So you should be able to adapt yourself. It's not applicable to Army, Navy, Air Force alone. It is applicable to anybody who wants to become a leader, a big man, a person of some authority. So you should be able to understand government and your interaction with your superiors, equals and subordinates have to be acceptable. You should possess the social intelligence, your intellectual ability to understand people, and your attitude towards others should be pleasant. These are qualities which are a social adjustment factor. One has to be tact, skillful
Good morning,
while
sir.
managing
Good
the
morning,
feelings
sir.
of other people. Then adaptability, your ability to adjust yourself in any condition. In the armed forces, you all know, you will be posted to places like Kargil or Siachen Glacier or any cold places. And next posting of yours may be in the deserts of Rajasthan. And next time you may get posted to some other place. So you should be able to adapt yourself to all conditions. It is not that you will get built up accommodation always. I see you all sitting in a beautiful hall of Viveka Foundation, and you may not get like this always in the army. You may have to live in a tent. When we get deployed, we happen to enter trenches for days together, months together, till we achieve our aim. So you should be able to adapt yourself. So your ability to adapt yourself conditions which are not very. And the next most important factor is cooperation. You should be able to render assistance like what you're doing in your class to your friends. You may be unconditionally rendering assistance. You may be cooperating, right? It has to be unconditional cooperation. And for the group goal to be achieved, I would like to give a small quote from Bhagavad Gita again. आप लोग सबको सबके सब सुना होगा, कर्मण्ये वादिका रस्ते माँ फलेषु कदाचन माँ कर्मफल हेतुर्भूमा हे संयोग कर्मणि. You have right only to your duty, not to the fruition thereof. Don't attach your work or that is your action or inaction to what you are going to get or not going to get. This is very, very important. Your cooperation has to be absolutely unconditional. Your sense of responsibility is the other factor. But children, you are all very responsible. If my father earns 10,000 rupees, I can't afford to have a scooter or motorcycle, and I can't ask for it because I will not be able to run within the resources of my parents. So that sense of responsibility has to be in you. Sense of duty and discipline, they make the sense of responsibility. And see, taking responsibility, इससे मेरे को एक छोटा सा डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम साहब का रियल लाइफ में जो हुआ है वो याद आया. In the year 1979, SLV-3 rocket launch होना था. You know what happened? The project director was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. You know what happened? Just before launching the rocket, वो कंप्यूटर ने बोला कि कुछ गड़बड़ी है, some leaking in some fuel tank. So the decision to launch or not launch was with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was the director. What happened? You all know. रॉकेट ऊपर इन्होंने परमिशन दे दिया लॉन्च करने के लिए. लॉन्च हो गया रॉकेट रॉकेट ऑर्बिट में नहीं गया, बल्कि it started in a very awkward path and landed itself inside Bay of Bengal. करोड़ों का पैसा का नुकसान हुआ, बहुत डर गए थे. He was very unhappy. Abdul Kalam साहब, you know what happened? His project director, डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर सतीश धवन साहब ने बोला, चलो कलाम हम लोग जाके मीडिया को देखेंगे. मीडिया के सामने गए, हर रिपोर्टर क्वेश्चन पूछने लगा, सर क्या हुआ. That time, Professor Satish Dhawan took the responsibility himself. You know what he told? I've got a damn good team, and next year we will launch the same rocket. It happened. And the media was faced by Professor Satish Dhawan when Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and his team failed to launch it correctly. But when the rocket was launched next year, very successfully, you know what Professor Dhawan told Dr. Kalam? तुम जाके अभी लेना, मीडिया को फेस करना. So, the moral of the story is, when you fail, you should be able to take the responsibility as an officer, as a leader yourself. And when your team wins, you give the credit to the team. This is the sense of responsibility. This is an important quality we should all possess if you want to become officers in the Indian Army. And if you go to Indian Military Academy, which is in Dehradun, इसमें लिखा रहता है, the words of General Chetu: duty, honor, and welfare of your country must come always and everywhere. Duty, honor, and welfare of your troops next, and your own duty, honor, and welfare come last and all the time. What I'm trying to tell is, an officer, a leader, has to put his nation first, and duty, honor, and welfare of his troops are predominant for him. They come always second, and his own duty, honor, and welfare would be lost in priority. I would like to tell you one more small information. In the country, the only people who are permitted to retain the rank, they are armed forces officers. Like your administrative colonel, Shamshin Singh Sahab, he can only write colonel. Like I am a brigadier, I can only write brigadier. You know the reason? When we take oath, name of commissioning, and we take oath not saying allegiance to safeguard the constitution and the country alone. No, we also include a vote in addition to whatever the other government servants do, even at the peril of our own life. We will serve the country, and we will go anywhere where we are ordered, and we will listen to the officers superior to us, even at the peril of our own life. So there is a difference between the armed forces and the other government services. We are almost reaching the last facet of the qualities. Madam Principal, you have to stop me in case I am overshooting my time limit. We have little. You can raise your hand. I take it that there's little more time left and I can go. Children, intelligence is the most important factor which is required in all of us in case we have to become officers, leaders, managers, or entrepreneurs And if you have to do well, we all have to possess something known as effective intelligence. It's not the basic intelligence which I'm talking about. One has to be quick on the uptake, practical in approach. When the resources are very scarce, ability to improvise the available resources, it is different from basic intelligence. The capacity to do abstract thinking is very, very important. It is practical intelligence. I'll give you a small little story as to what happened in a Japanese factory. And I will ask you, anybody who will to answer has to give me the answer in case you come up. No, there was a soap making factory in Japan. It was a very successful factory, famous factory. क्या हुआ, एक बार एक डब्बे के अंदर 12 एक डजन सोप होते थे, तो दुकान में जाके एक व्यक्ति ने खरीदा, घर जाके देखा उसमें एक सोप के अंदर, सोप केस के अंदर सोप नहीं था, सिर्फ केस ही केस था, मतलब 12 सोप की जगह 11 ही सोप में। जाके कंप्लेंट करा, उसने बोला कि भाई मैंने तो 12 सोप के लिए पैसा दिया, इसमें निकला 11 सोप और एक खाली केस है, हाँ कवर है, उसके अंदर सोप है। उलझन में पड़ गए। पूरा फैक्ट्री वालों ने बैठ के सोचा यार कैसे हुआ, हमने इतना बड़ा बड़ा मशीन लगा करके फैक्ट्री में इतने साल से हम काम कर रहे हैं, सोप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहे हैं, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ, इसको कैसे निकाले, इसका हल कैसे निकाले। एक ऑफिसर ने बोला हाँ हम तो बड़ा आधुनिक मशीन लगाएंगे, have good X-ray capacity and it will find out, X-ray मशीन लगाएंगे। जैसे हम लोग एयरपोर्ट में जाने से हमको देखने को मिलता है, our luggages are screened and they find out as to what is inside. Something like that, कोई मशीन लगाने के लिए लोगों ने सलाह दी। कुछ लोगों ने बोला नहीं, हम हर एक डिब्बे को अच्छी तरह चेक करेंगे। It is not humanly possible. In case you produce 1 lakh soaps, each case cannot be checked when you pass the soap through the line, the conveyor belt. ये बात क्या हुआ, उसी फैक्ट्री का एक दिन के बाद उसका पर्सनल मैनेजर चाय पीने के लिए हमेशा उनके लेबर के साथ बैठते थे। एक उनका टेबल के पीछे एक लड़का बात कर रहा था, he was also employed in the same factory। अरे भाई देखो, ये लोग सोच रहे हैं कि करोड़ों का पैसा लगा करके ये कोई मशीन लगाने की सोच रहे हैं, कोई एक्सरे लगाने के लिए सोच रहे हैं, ये बड़ा स्टाफ लगाकर चेक करने के लिए सोच रहे हैं, इसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है, 2000 रुपया में हल हो जाएगा प्रॉब्लम। तो फ्रेंड को कह रहा है कन्वेयर बेल्ट से ही आता है सोप, ये 2000 रुपया का एक फैन लगा दो, जो सोप है कवर के साथ वो तो उड़ेगा नहीं, जिसमें सोप नहीं है वो कवर उड़ जाएगा एंड वी कैन फाइंड आउट। इसके लिए कोई मशीन की जरूरत तो नहीं है। ये सुनते ही वो पर्सनल मैनेजर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में जाकर के वो कहता है कि यार इतना आसान सॉल्यूशन है, हम इसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे। जो वो सलाह दिया था वो उस लेबर को उन्होंने पुरस्कार भी दिया। एक्चुअल में हुआ है इसको। You know what I just now told is the aspect of practical intelligence. Everybody is intelligent, but there is only one person who thinks little differently, and that's what is practical intelligence is all about. And I'll tell you one more story of Andrew Carnegie. आप लोग किसी ने बंदरगाह जाके, हार्बर में जाके शिप को देखा तो बड़े बड़े शिप्स होते हैं, उसमें लोडिंग करने में अनलोडिंग करने में बहुत समय लगता है। और एंड्रू कर्नाटक is the only person who gave a solution of making containers. कंटेनर्स बहुत बड़े बड़े होते हैं. कंटेनर्स को कभी भी, whenever you want, you can fill them up with a load in the harbor or airport. And when the ship comes to the harbor, to the port, and the containers are loaded very easily. So you don't waste time for loading and unloading after the ships dock in a harbor. ऐसे करने से क्या होता है, बहुत पोर्ट रेंज देने होती है इसको, वापस बोलते हैं उसको, वो पैसा लगता है. And this is the person who gave the solution to the world, and the world is seeing the containerist transportation in the country now, in the world. This is effective intelligence. The other important factor is your ability to organize things. अभी आपका क्लास चल रहा है, somebody must have thought over, कुर्सियां लगाना है, माइक लगाना है, स्टेज लगाना है, टाइमिंग के बारे में सोचना है, किसी को बताना है तो पहले से उनका नोटिस देना है, एंड उसके बाद एनीथिंग एल्स टू बी अरेंज, प्रिंसिपल मैडम से परमिशन लेना है, एंड स्पीकर को अरेंज करना है. Your ability to organize things without leaving anything, that is an important aspect of your intelligence. And your power of expression, putting it across with ease in any language which others understand, adequately and clearly, written, verbal. Your manner and gesture also is important. And these are the qualities which would make every one of you to become a successful officer. There are 15 of them. In other words, I have told so far: effective intelligence, your reasoning ability. It is reasoning ability is getting essentials of a problem, your inquiring attitude, your receptivity, and logical reasoning. Then would be the organizing ability of yours, your form of expression. And other things I have already told you: social adjustment, social intelligence, cooperation, your sense of responsibility, and effectiveness in society would be based on your initiative, self-confidence, spirit of decision, ability to influence a group, and your liveliness. And the dynamic factors, we are all very aware, your determination, courage, and stamina. These are the 15 qualities required in any personality to become good in life. If you want to join the Indian Army, the last bastion of reliability, you should possess all these qualities. That's all I have to say. And I would like to end by saying that in case I get an opportunity to guide any one of you, boys or girls, to clear their written examination and get call-up letters for appearing in any services selection board, with my little experience, whatever I had in the selection center, Allahabad, I'll be able to get, and I will take it as a great honor to help boys and girls of Viveka competition. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind. In case anybody has any question, you can ask, and otherwise, other procedures connected to joining the army, I have sent as a small little presentation to Colonel Shamsher Saab. He will be able to handle as per directions of your principal. Thank you.
Stay connected.
Yeah.
Students, those who have questions, you can ask. Please.
Sir, I would like to ask you a question: that what should be our strategy at this stage if we want to join administrative services in the future? Thank you.
You're talking about the strategy. It's a very good Uh, Children, firstly, whatever little I told, these 15 qualities, they are possessed by every one of you in some measure. And it is the acceptability factor. Some people would be having this in high measure, some people will have it in smaller measure. And you gave an opportunity to explain. See, there are people who have done extremely well outside, but they were not selected in the army. Like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he went for Air Force SSB and he failed, but he became the president of India. And the other person who is very decorated Indian administrative officer is Mr. T.N. Seshan. He became the chief election commissioner in IAS. And the other two important people are Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan. दोनों फेल हो गए एसएसबी में. Services Selection Board is a different cup of tea. And all those who possess the acceptable officer-like qualities have to work hard. The girl who asked this question, the strategy would be you make up your mind and work for it. And there are written examinations, whether you want to become Army, Navy, Air Force officers, and you have to prepare for yourself and do good. And that is enough. And they will be able to pick up. Let me assure you, I am from a very modest background. And I do not have anybody in the army as my ancestors or otherwise. I do not belong to a royal family. If I can become an officer, every one of us can become. This is what I wanted to say. Because the system is very fair. And यहाँ पे corruption नहीं चलता. And there is no reservation in the army. There is no reservation for high caste, low caste, and economically forward, backward, nothing. This is one line. Everyone could join with hard work. And your strategy, again, should be hard work and nothing else. Get guided by your own staff. And people like us will always be there to guide you. In case you come personally with your issues, we'll solve. Thank you. Anyone else?
Any other student would like to ask any question? You will not get the opportunity frequently. Please ask the questions. That was ask.
Anirudh, come forward.
So how can we keep ourselves focused when our mind is distracting us for the studying about the written exams?
Okay.
So how can we keep ourselves focused? How can we keep ourselves mind focused when we are studying for the written exams and feeling distracted?
Okay. Firstly, I appreciate that you are wearing a mask in the pandemic days. Good. And the Viveka Foundation is taking care of this. Written examination preparation. See, you might have been already briefed. For you people to join the National Defense Academy, there is a written test. But there is also a scheme, the +2 entry scheme. And in detail, you can take the details from your staff. And when are you supposed to appear, or when when are you supposed to apply? All these details are already given. But when you prepare for your examination, I suggest, in case you could catch hold of 10 years question papers, you definitely go through them, and that will definitely help you. Nothing comes out of syllabus. It is whatever is there in your +2, the 10th, 11th, 12th subjects, academics, especially with English and mathematics, and general knowledge has to be refreshed. That's all. Nothing else is required. I suggest you all have come to class 11 and 12. You should start reading newspaper daily. And if you can hear news And I do not want you to hear the political news. No. And you should be able to hear a good news channels, and your parents will definitely guide you on a daily basis and be in touch with the environment and the current affairs. And for that, preparation is not required separately. And at the time of appearing in your written examination or the services selection board, that will come very handy. And I am sure, as I told you, people like us will definitely guide you once you get your written examinations through. Your preparation has to be based on your determination, hard work. That's all. Nothing else is required. Anybody else?
Yes, sir. So my question is, what are the kinds of so my question is, what are the kind of opportunities one is given in armed forces to nurture one's leadership qualities?
Beautiful, beautiful. Sir, see, the opportunities are too many. See, firstly, army is the only place where people have become officers even after joining the army, navy, air force as Jawans, soldiers, sailors, and airmen. And they prepare yourself to become officers. That is one. And for people like you, and directly after getting commission, and you get so many things. Firstly, the quality of life, which we can't afford outside, like your riding, your extracurricular activities connected to parasailing, adventure activities, and the like. There are so many of them. Firstly, if some of you may be from the army background, if you have visited any army officers mess, it is always well maintained, and the quality of life they offer is top class. And you do get your canteen facilities, which are not applicable to other people, and you have your concessional movement uh, within India. When you travel, you have your concessions every year. And for your dependents also it is applicable. And if you are wanting to fly, nowadays even the Air Force carriers offer the concessional opportunities to the wards and the dependents of the armed forces officers. So the facilities available are too many, and the people who join the army, navy, air force get opportunities for higher education also. The plus two entries in particular, so many of my friends have done their MTech. So many of them, especially in the navy, they have done the architecture. I mean the building architecture of ships, and they get opportunity to do courses abroad. People go to different countries after nomination. I myself have gone to Sri Lanka through army with the NCC cadets. And, so you get opportunity not only in India, and you get opportunity to serve in UN missions abroad along with your battalions. So for your overall development, if you ask me, armed forces is one of the best places where you will be looked after, and your family also will get the quality of life. I hope that answers you. Anyone else? No girls has asked. No girls. Only one asked.
Sir, I want to know about your personal experience in army. Like, what is the role of army in your life?
You have to tell me again, please.
So, what is the role of army in your life? So, I want to know about your personal experience in army.
Okay, right. The role of army is, as I told you, it is enshrined. When we take our oath, it is a nation feast concept. You have to serve the nation and also serve yourself. See, this gives me an insight. When I joined the army, an application gets referred to the local principal or whomsoever we give us reference. My mother did not want me to join the army. He went and reported to the principal that ये फौज में जा रहा है, इसको रुको. And you know what what she was told by the principal? My own son-in-law is a squadron leader, and how do you expect me to stop your son? He is joining the army as a second lieutenant. Let him go. It is a beautiful job, and the role of army is to serve the people of the nation. If the tricolors are flying in India, it is not due to anybody else. It is due to the breath of the soldiers who are standing day in and day out in terrible cold and uncongenial conditions. And my own experience, I have almost lost my life twice in a place known as Kupwada, you must be knowing. My regiment was located. I was going to a place known as Putta Khan Gully. There my gun position was getting prepared. I was lieutenant colonel at that time. Through one place, and it was very heavily raining that time. It we fully reached the other side, and our adjutant called me and asked me, "सब ठीक है?" "सब ठीक है, हम लोग पहुंच गए." A convoy of 3 vehicles which followed me later, after an hour, they were ambushed and probably the improvised explosive devices which were kept, which were operated through the remote control, did not explode, did not work due to heavy rains when I passed through with my people, whereas they caught hold of my colleagues later. And of course, if we have to live, we will live. And that kind of a thing keeps happening, and nothing to worry about. And see, everyone who has served in the Army, Navy, Air Force successfully, and he has that satisfaction that we got an opportunity to serve this great nation. Gentlemen, I could not show you the slide which I had sent. There are 10 heroes slides which I showed. Out of them, 6 are officers. उसमें हिंदूस भी हैं, मुस्लिम्स भी हैं, सिख भी हैं, ईसाई भी हैं. Out of them, 2 are junior commissioned officers, 2 are soldiers. What I'm trying to tell is, this is the only organization which is beyond region, religion, politics, and languages. It is a purely unity in diversity. If we really want to see a diverse culture, it is in the armed forces. And I was commissioned into a Brahmin regiment, which Colonel Shamsher Singh Sahab also joined. It's a Brahmin unit. The first thing I did was, I'm a Muslim. I was taken to the mandir, and I started with my prayers in the mandir. We do not have any religion in the army. We follow the religion of the men who command, men whom we command, the troops we command. This is a great journey, and which I relished, and I have been able to contribute whatever little I could in Operation Pavan, or even Kargil. Kargil, we missed an opportunity because we are part of the strike corps. Our regiment did not go for the strike across the border, and whereas my sister battalions and the sister regiments went to Kargil proper, whereas we were deployed in a place known as Nagaur, where we were determined to go across the border and into the territory. Which opportunity which we missed, I still repent of that. And anybody else?
Anybody else, if you would like to ask question, you can come in front and you can ask question. You come here in front, stand in front, but be louder, and stand here for your reply also. Thoda sa piche. Speak.
First of all, thank you for a valuable knowledge.
Mark.
So thank you for your valuable knowledge. My question is, how to think fast in a group discussion and keep ourselves ahead of everyone
Okay.
while sitting in
Right.
group discussion?
Very nice. Sit. See, group discussion is the a part which is handled by a ground task officer, ground duty officer, right? And group discussion is very simple. If you are knowledgeable, there will be 10, 15 topics. They normally give about 5, 6 topics. You have to select one of them or they nominate one. And you have to speak for 3 minutes. And you can do it very comfortably in case you practice at home yourself. Like you are talking in front of me, you are able to ask a question. What you do is you select a topic, stand in front of the mirror, and you start talking yourself, whatever you know of. After some time, you will be able to be putting across things in a proficient manner. I'm very happy that every one of you is able to convey your power of expression is okay. It's enough. So when you tell something to your small little audience at the time of selection, at the time of group discussion, they have to be relevant points. Generally, they give time to speak for about 5 minutes. And your preparation is also 5 minutes. With 5 minutes time, you should be able to select a topic and work out certain important information which you would like to deliver to the small little audience. That's all. And keep practicing in a group or alone, and it will come automatically. That is definitely a requirement in the Army, Navy, Air Force at the time of selection. The same thing has been copied by the corporate people also now. It was in the Army group discussion, and your ability to influence was the concept which only in the armed forces earlier. Now everybody is able to, everybody is able to put in force for their own selection. You know what happened? In the services selection board, the group discussion topics, whatever they give, they are all current in nature. So if you are preparing for your written or the SSB yourself, that is enough. The subjects in which you are prepared, by and large, will be on the current affairs only. Those are the topics which will come, and you will be able to definitely speak for about 5 minutes. What they are checking is content, your manner, your matter, and presentation. I'll say it again. The manner of your talking, matter you are delivering, and your way of presentation. These three would give them all inputs whether a person is fit enough to become a leader or otherwise. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Morning, sir. So my question is that how we can impress our sir. My question is that how we can impress interviews in service selection board. How we can impress them with which qualities?
Okay. First thing, you don't have to impress. You don't have to impress the interviewer. See, I have done about 2,000 interviews. The interaction will be almost personal. See, he will be talking on personal things like your background, your education, and your friends, and anything which has happened in your life which is memorable, and he will give you a situation, synthetic situation, right? And how you behave. And आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि what is he asking, why is he asking, right? See, they are all trained people from the Defense Institute of Psychological Research. And let me tell you, the selection is tough. The officers who interview you, they go through a very rigorous selection themselves. All the officers don't get opportunity to become selectors. So they will know exactly whether a person is lying or telling truth. So you don't have to make an extra effort to impress at all. You speak truth. You speak truth, highlight yourself. The 15 qualities which I mentioned today, you highlight Don't give anything adverse unless you are asked for. I hope, underline. And you see, I asked a person during one of the interviews anything which has happened in his life, which is memorable. By and large, people will come out with the truth because you can't make up when you are asked a question very suddenly, right? And be prepared, be truthful. Remember, truth alone will benefit you because when you speak about the same subject, you don't have to hide and come out something else. If he gave something inaccurate, I don't use the word falsehood. If you tell anything inaccurate, it will get caught. So be truthful. You don't have to take any effort, extra effort to impress. And what's your name, you said?
Thank you.
So my question is that how can one avoid corruption or any other illegal practices as a leader when he or she is being subjected to the political pressure?
This is a very beautiful question. What's your name?
Ashima.
So Ashima.
Very nice. Sit, be seated. See,
Thank you.
under political pressure, if we bow down, see, let me tell you, in the Army, Navy, Air Force, we do not have exposure to a civil circle, right? In a battalion or a regiment, if I serve, I don't come under a politician at all. To be precise, in the Services Selection Board, we do not get calls from anywhere. You cannot contact any selector, in other words. If there is a call from the Ministry of Defense through the Defense Minister, the call will get ignored in the Army. You know the reason? If any selector, if I have selected 10 people, their dossier is made. Some of them get caught. Yes, even in the Army, Navy, Air Force, there is one person with a negligible percentage of corruption taking place, and somebody may commit suicide, or somebody may get involved in an air crash, right? Three things happen in the armed forces. Okay? It's a very clear case of court-martial and a person getting out of the armed forces. If a person commits suicide, or if there is an air crash, and the officer who selected them, they will be called upon to explain. I hope you understood this point, right?
Yes, sir.
And so, why will I put my own service in peril? Even if you give me 10 lakhs rupees, my service will be at peril in case a person whom I selected committed suicide and he was court-martialed for corruption, or he met with an air crash. So in the armed forces, they guard against this. So they are the people are laminated, insulated, and they are in a circle. When a person gets posted to the selection centers, they do not get exposed to others. They are under watch all the time. The CBA will be after them. आप see, आपको एक बात से एक चीज याद आया. The zonal recruiting officers or the recruitment officers, the people think that they take money. No, they are not. They don't. They cannot. They don't need. Firstly, I was myself a zonal recruiting officer in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. And somebody came and told in the media that the zonal recruiting people are taking money for recruitment. 60,000 रुपया लेते हैं, उसमें 40,000 रुपया ब्रीडे साहब के पास जाता है, 10,000 रुपया फलाने के लिए, 10,000 रुपया फलाने के लिए. It came. Then immediately called the media and addressed them. If anybody can prove that some officers or men or clerks from my office got money through political pressure or otherwise, I will get the court-martial, take action. So show proof. This is an organization which conducts running in front of thousands of people, in front of you. A person runs, he passes, then only he gets selected. I'm talking about the men's recruitment, right? And in case he doesn't pass, how can you put him in the army in uniform? He cannot do. So it is transparent, number one. So now come to civil. Time it is difficult. A political pressure coming from top is difficult. But there are people who are ramrod straight and they cannot be influenced by money alone. The power corrupts. Yes, in our country there is corruption. There is no way you can erode it fully. Eradication of corruption is possible only if ostracism takes place. I will give you the example of France. In France, the government servants who get labeled as corrupt, उनकी बेटी की शादी नहीं होती. Other people ostracize. They will take them out of their community, right? In France, there is no corruption or very less corruption as because the society has taken this evil as very bad and they don't accept these members of the society to practice corruption. That kind of a thing has to come in. No religion advocates taking a thing which is not due. For the work, whatever we do, we should get whatever is due. Not more, not less. And second and foremost is corruption takes place as because people are wanting to jump the queue. If you yourself don't give money to an officer to ask for money, your job will get delayed. But if you are strong enough, you will be able to protect yourself. System is not that bad. System is not that bad, but there is a need for realization in our society. As because our people only go and corrupt the officers most of the time, that has to stop. If everyone has decided that we will not give money, pay money for getting our work done, nothing will happen. The work will have to go through. There may be a little delay, and we should be ready to face that. Thanks for this excellent predicament, which you brought out in the form of a question, which is applicable to our country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. Sir, my question is, how does the army help in empowering the status of women?
How does the army
help in uplifting the status of women, sir?
Okay, right. Good question. Okay. See, firstly, we are as officers, we are brothers and sisters, right? The women have started joining the army as officers and do not go by whatever the media is telling. One not movie has come on the status of women, especially the Air Force officer whose movie had come very recently. I know so many women officers with whom I have served, especially during my time. It used to be the Education Corps or in the Army Medical Corps. In large number, they used to come. Now they have started going for the ordnance, aviation, and the like. And believe me, the type of training which is given to the women officers, especially the lady cadets in the Officers Training Academy, Chennai, is top class. The selection process for them also is the same. So the officers with whom the ladies serve seldom come out with complaints of any kind. And it is the bounden duty of the officers of the Indian Navy and Air Force to safeguard the interest of the women sisters who have joined the fraternity. That is taken care of. It is one of the foremost unassigned job given to the commanding officers of each regiment or the units in which the ladies are posted, right? Now people have started joining even the Corps of Military Police also as officers, and they can handle themselves. Let me tell you, they are very strong, and the rigorous of training they undergo is almost the same. If you happen to come and have a look in the Officers Training Academy, which I have seen myself, the training which is important to the ladies are the same. They can safeguard themselves, one, and there are always brother officers for their rescue. Nothing will happen to them. And don't ever believe one odd dramatized the movie which has been shot very recently about an Air Force officer, which I don't believe. And so many of the other officers have told that it is not correct. And the projection of a woman officer, whether she serves in the Army, Navy, or Air Force, it is top class, and they are like any of us, like me, or like my sisters. And it will be protected. Don't worry about it at all. It is their responsibility, the men's responsibility to safeguard their interests. And don't have this doubt at all in your mind.
Thank you, sir.
I hope that answered to some extent.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. Now I request our director, ma'am, to share her views with all of us.
Thank you, Mosmi. Very good morning to all. Honorable guest speaker, Baton Officer Brigadier Hussain. Firstly, I want to express my happiness that we are really heavenly blessed to have a person like you in our life and we remaining associated with you for so long. And above all, I feel blessed that you are among us today, among the whole audience, included the students, team of teachers, and the parents as well online. I requested the parents that don't miss this opportunity. I'm really thankful to them that they are present, may not be physically, but on online mode they are with us. Thank you so much for your valuable words, the words of wisdom. You quoted our Bhagavad Gita, you quoted about our Rishi Munis, and with small interesting stories in lucid language. You really, express the words and the adverbs of these qualities, Apsar-like qualities. I'm really so happy about it. And I'm really thrilled that our students, they could understand you so well and they're coming up with the good question answer session. I won't take much of your time. I'm really feeling happy and honored, and more so that the audience are being enlightened with your wisdom. And I feel so much thankful. I don't have words to express my gratitude to Mrs. Hussain, who supported you yesterday. We could speak and she was quite cautious, and we are really don't have any doubts about your the qualities. You are such a learned veteran soldier. I don't have words to express, and I'm really thankful